Yeah, it looks like we are good to go. Good morning and welcome to this Monday morning's board gaming breakfast live stream. I'm going to start off today with doing a little different of an intro, but that's all right. So I've been listening to a lot of different kind of like motivational self-help type things, and there's a lot of kind of like helpful mentors out there talking about manifesting. So I'm going to start a little quick intro for a Instagram series video that I'll be putting up, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled stuff. So here we go. Let's try it out. Happy Monday morning. I'm going to be starting something new every Monday where I'm going to be manifesting / holding myself accountable to doing different things on this board gaming journey. So the goal of this video is to share to the ether the things I plan to get done this week, and when next Monday comes around, I will update you on how those things came about. So the things that I am manifesting or holding myself accountable, once we get into the flow of this video, I'll stick to one word, is that I'm going to teach 3 board games this week. I'm going to print the prototype updates for my game called Everstone that'll be coming out shortly. I'm going to get someone to proofread my instructions, and I am going to finish the first draft of the achievement sheet for the game. So those are the 4 things I'm manifesting that I'm going to get done this week. I'm also going to get my car oil changed. So there's 4 board game things I'm going to do and 1 life thing I'm going to do. Feel free to comment down below what things you're going to hold yourself accountable to. And next Monday, I will check in and see if you've done that. Happy Monday, everyone. We'll see how that plays on Instagram. But Monday mornings are going to be manifesting Mondays. Or accountability. Something like that. All right, back to the regular scheduled stuff. But hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. If you are new to the stream, what I like to do is I like to start every day with going live for about 30 minutes or so. We had some technical difficulties this morning, so I'm a few minutes behind. But what we'll do today is we'll go live, or we'll cut a video of talking about a board game that we brought to the table, talk about why we liked it. We'll then transition to our second video of adding a random mechanic to that board game, and then we'll finish up by designing a game in 5 minutes. So pour yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get this Monday started. So, hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. I am one half of the McMeeples account on Instagram, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanics in the Welcome To series. So this is Welcome to the Moon, which has a bunch of different maps that you can play on, but I'm going to focus on just the evergreen game version of Welcome To, which is just welcome to your beautiful home or something like that. But it is probably the only or the longest staying flip and write in our collection. And so everyone playing, you can play up to 100 people because there's a bunch of different maps. But it's similar to a Yahtzee style game would be the, I guess, most widely known roll and write, flip and write game in that genre. But how Welcome To works is that everyone will start with this map where you'll have 3 rows of buildings that are unassigned house numbers and a bunch of this scoring gobbledygook down at the bottom. And over the course of the game, you'll have 3 piles that have a number on one side and a icon on the other side, where you'll have those 3 piles in the center of the table, and you'll have 1 item flipped over on each one, which will then create a pairing. So for this pairing, we'd have a hazard with a 10, and maybe there's another pairing that is a 7 with a fence, and then the last one would be a 6 with a pool. And so once you have all 3 of those pairings, you will choose one of the houses to fill in with that house number, and you'll have the opportunity to perform the symbol action that goes along with the number of you picked. And so the rules for placement for the houses is that you have to go from low to high. Like any typical street, the numbers go kind of chronologically, unless you live on my hometown street where the numbers were all spread out and it was hard to find my parents' house. But in the rules of Welcome To, you have to always put a higher number to the right of where you're filling in. And so that's the simple turn structure where you'll just be choosing a number to fill in and then having the option to take the paired action with it. And so in the base game, there are 7 different actions that you can take. The pool action, which we just showed, meant that if you fill in a section that has a pool icon on it, you get to circle the pool and claim it, which has a little set collection scoring thing down here. The park action, each street has park symbols that you want to fill in, and at the end of the game you'll score based on the number of parks that are filled in on that street. And so the shorter street you can get 10 points for, the medium street can get 14, and if you manage to put all the parks on the third street you'll get 18. And there's a slew of other different scoring mechanisms in the game. Each game will have 3 different scoring goals that everyone's competing to. And so I'm not going to do the full overview of what everything happens in it, but that's the general overview of the game, is that you'll flip over the top card on the 3 decks, revealing a new number and having a icon assigned. And every player will be on their own in real time, choosing one of those 3 options to fill in. And once you get to the point where nobody can fill in any of the 3 options, they'll tick off here, and that'll be a timer for the game. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. And I really like that simplicity of having 3 different options of icons that you can choose from paired with numbers, which gives you sort of a simple action of, just pick one of the 3 options. But it allows you to kind of not be stuck all doing the same thing and having the same option. And I really like how this reference kind of shows you everything you need to know to jump right into the flip and write. Flip and write generally is not my go-to genre for filler game, but Welcome To adds this light, breezy, easy to understand concept that provides a refreshing game each time, because you have to balance the kind of puzzle of, do I lock in a 13 pool here because I'll be able to go for that pool? That really handicaps me, because if I'm trying to fill in these 2 houses, I need a 14 and 15. And so that mind puzzle that the game creates is simple enough for anyone to understand. Everyone we've taught this game to, jumps into it fairly easy. After the 3rd flipping of the cards, it sort of clicks with everyone, and is a very fun filler game or intro game that we've had a lot of success with teaching people that aren't traditionally into our nerdy board game hobby. But that simple mechanic of the 3 deck flipping system is my favorite mechanic in the game Welcome To. I'd love to hear your thoughts of what you think of the game Welcome To in the comments below. And if you like content like this, please subscribe. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and would love to engage with you in the comments below. Take care. All right, that's video 1 down. I'm gonna grab some water. Feeling antsy this Monday. I don't know why. Ugh. Gotta shake off the nerves, I guess. All right, we gotta switch over, now that we got our to-do list out of the way, to another live stream. Maybe it's because I didn't end up getting to stream on Friday, because we had some family stuff to take care of. So I'm just out of practice. That's okay, we'll push forward. All right, so let's share screen real quick and start video 2. Accept. All right, put that away. Jump back into OBS, and we will start with video number 2. Hope everyone has a great morning. It's kind of rainy out here. Here's what it is. Hi, welcome back to the channel. And my name is Sam, and in today's video, we're going to be taking the game series Welcome To and adding a random game mechanic into it. And so if you're new to these type of videos, my goal is to wake up my brain with a brainstorming game design challenge. And so what we'll do is make sure everything else is set up. Ooh, not that. Well, we'll take the game of the day, and we will go over to our wheel of mechanics. And this wheel here has 60 different game mechanics for us to design around. And so if we spin the wheel, it's going to prompt us with a random mechanic that we have to insert into or design into the Welcome To series. All right, so we have the I cut you choose system, which feels like that will go hand in hand with Welcome To. But for the sake of sticking with the script, we're now going to set a 5-minute timer and design how we might add the I cut you choose mechanic into Welcome To. And so for those of you who are unfamiliar with this style of mechanic, it's generally one player will have all the information and they'll decide how to split it, and then the other players will have the option to choose what result they want before the player who divvied up the information. And I think the easiest way to get into this is, for those of you who aren't familiar with Welcome To, you'll have all of these. You'll have these 3 decks of cards with, I believe, a number on them from 1 to 15, and on the discard of the flip piles will be a symbol. So there's the pool, the park, hazard. And traditionally in the game, you will be choosing one of the piles to write into your sheet. And the way we could add the I cut you choose mechanic to it is we would add a active player. So we would need an active player pawn or something like that. And potentially you have the number of piles equal to the number of players in the game. And the active player will then flip or draw a card from the top of each of the decks. So in this 3-player game, they would draw and choose which pairing to put the discarded kind of symbology into. And from there, you would go in reverse turn order, can't speak today, reverse turn order to choose which pairing you want. So the 2 modifications that we would be making to Welcome To is, instead of just flipping and putting the card in the discard, the active player would get to choose which card gets discarded into which pile. And then normally in Welcome To, everyone would be able to choose their pairing at the same time, and it doesn't matter if you overlap the same pairing or not. In this variation of I cut you choose, you would have to go in turn order or reverse turn order to select one, and no player would be able to select more than one. You wouldn't be able to select the same pile, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so how this might work is, if we're playing with 3 players and the first player is the flipper of the cards, players 2 and 3, once they've determined that this card goes here, this card goes there, and that card stays the same, player 3 would put their token out to claim which pile they'd want, then player 2 would put their token out, and then player 1 would be stuck with that one there. And so that, in a nutshell, would be how I would design an I cut you choose mechanic into the game series Welcome To. That was fairly straightforward in how to add it into the game, in terms of my opinion. But I would love to hear in the comments below if you think that this would add to Welcome To, if you think it would take away, if you have other ideas of how you might be able to add the I cut you choose mechanic into Welcome To. I'd love to hear it in the comments below. And if you like this style of brainstorming video, I post these specific videos every Wednesday, so follow along for more. Have a good one. Oh man, I gotta blow my nose. All right, so we are done with Welcome To. So I'm going to put Welcome To back in the box. We do that. Anyone watching live, I hope you have a fabulous week. Got an exciting week coming up. Hopefully I can share more of it down the road. I look forward to everyone having a awesome, productive week this week. Put the rest away later. Get this out of the way, and we'll set up for today's final video. All right. Hopefully we can avoid doing sniffles for the video. Must be allergies or something. I don't know. All right. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam, and in today's video, we are going to be designing a game in 5 minutes or less. So let me switch OBS over to our next setup, and we'll jump into our next tab over here. So we are on letsmakeagame.net, and they have this great tool called the Game Idea Generator, which will prompt us with a genre, rule, setting, and theme for us to design around. And so what's going to happen is we'll click the generate button, and then I'll set a 5-minute timer on my phone, and we'll just get to watch sort of the creative, the creative juices unflow. I don't know. We'll just get to see what my brain comes up with the prompt. So with the rambling out of the way, we'll generate. And so we got the genre is physics, the rule is you are the weapon, the setting is medieval, and the theme is betrayal. And so we will start our 5-minute timer and get a move on with this design. So we got physics, you are the weapon, medieval, and betrayal. And so I think what my mind first went to is that there is a grid, and medieval makes me think of catapults for some reason. I don't know if that's a common thing for others, but you would have some sort of grid as your battlefield of sorts. Maybe it's a 5 by 10 or something like that. Did we get 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Even better. And so at the start of the game, you choose where to place your catapult. And so everyone's got their little catapult looking guy, and so maybe this one puts a catapult here. And maybe each person has sorry for my allergies. They seem to be really bad this morning. Maybe we'll put the catapults here because in the center of each side there is a castle you're trying to protect. And my initial thought is because you are the weapon in physics, we'll put our castles here. Some nice medieval looking castles. My nice scribble castles. My thought is that you would be drafting tiles from a row and on your turn placing a tile onto the board. And the rules are that you must place orthogonally to a tile you've previously placed. And so my thoughts are that tiles are getting placed out here. And so there are, my thoughts are the tiles would be something like this, where you're showing the projectile kind of going from different areas. Something like that, where those would be the two different types. And I think that would end in a stalemate, but we'll keep going with this idea for the sake of time. And so you'd be placing tiles, and they're two-sided potentially. And your goal is to try and knock out the other person's castle. And so how you would do this is medieval, you are the weapon. This idea is already feeling like booty. But we'll carry out the thought. And so basically you're trying to get this pathing to get something like that, where you're either trying to rush knights, and so you can always put a right knight rush there, or you can use it to add to your catapults. So maybe there's 2 catapults, so each person gets 2 catapults on their board. And then there'd be, we'll use the knight symbol. That was a beautiful night. Yep, so Michaela and chess thing sort of reminds me of chess. So I was also thinking chess as well. And so the idea is that you'd have 2 catapults and you're trying to protect your castle. And so on your turn, you can either start placing tiles to help push your rook to control certain outposts, or you can use it to... Oh, I'll stop that there. I'll finish my thought and recap. Or you can place the tiles to help navigate a projectile from your catapults to either knock out their infantry or try to knock out one of their 3 spaces of the catapults or castle. And the goal of the game is to be the first to knock out the other person's castle. And that is where we got to in the brainstorm. So the actions that we would still need to take to even make this testable is... Well, actually, we could probably test it right now. We'd make a 2-layer, or the backside of the tiles would just look like knights. And so you'd have this knight on the backside. And we could test the concept of having potentially a market row that only is 3 tiles. And so we would make a bunch of these straight and angled pathings for your catapults, and we would just play it like that. So on your turn, you either place one to help move forward a catapult projectile, or you place one to push your knights. And I would test that initial concept to see if it's even fun or there's any puzzle that comes out of it. And that would be kind of the stopping point where I get to from this concept, to see if this tile placement attacking medieval game is even fun. So I would love to hear in the comments below what you came up with for this sort of idea. I kind of, as you could see, didn't have a great epiphany brain pop from the generated game prompt. We kind of ignored the physics. You are the weapon, so you're controlling the items on the battlefield, and we did hit the medieval theme, and we didn't really focus on the betrayal or the physics. So I would love to see what you guys come up with in the comments below, and maybe as a group we can come up with a fun game concept together. So feel free to subscribe if you like this content, and I look forward to engaging with you soon. Those were not fun. That felt like a struggle to get through, but we did it. And so I promise tomorrow that I'll be back with more pep and hopefully some exciting ideas. But I hope everyone has a great Monday.